day today. And okay, so before moving forward, let's start with the revision. So in this chapter, we have talked about the meaning of error, wherein I have told you that errors are, you can say, the unintentional mistake of commission or omission, right, in the process of recording a transaction. And what is actually rectification of error? Rectification actually means that you want to rectify the error that you have committed. You are trying to make good the errors that you have committed, and the effect of the such error, you want to reduce the effect of the wrong transaction, wrong recording of transaction on the entire books of account. Then apart from the meaning of rectification, I've also told you what is actually the reason for rectifying a particular error. So rectification is done so as to prepare the correct accounting record and to ascertain the correct profit and loss of an entity and to exhibit the true financial position of an organization. So these are the basic reasons for rectifying any error. And after that, we have also talked about the various types of error or the classification of errors. We have talked about the error of commission, error of omission, error of principal, and compensating errors. So in these classification, we first talked about the error of commission, where I have explained that errors of commission are those errors which are committed due to wrong posting of transaction or wrong totaling or wrong balancing of the account. And these errors can be further classified as the error of recording, casting, carrying, and posting. Other than this, we have other types of error as well, wherein we have talked about the error of omission, wherein error of omission can also be broadly categorized as the partial error of omission or the complete error of omission. So in case of partial omission, you forgot to record the certain part of a transaction, and in case of complete omission, you completely forgot to record a particular kind of transaction. So both are completely different kind of omission. In case of complete omission, you are completely forgetting to record the entire transaction, wherein in partial, you are recording a part of a transaction, but you are forgetting to record the other part of the transaction. And then we have the error of principal, wherein you are committing mistake regarding the basic the accounting rule and the principles of accounts, and you are recording a transaction without following the proper principle and rules and regulation of the account. That is called error of principle. That means you are you are recording the transaction in the contravention of the accounting principle. Okay. And apart from this, we have the last type of error, which is called compensating errors, wherein I have explained that when two or more errors are committed in such a way that the net effect of the error is nullifying the effect of the previous transaction that you have recorded. Other than these things, we have also talked about how to actually rectify the error. What is the process of rectifying an error? So while rectification, generally we follow these three steps. First of all, we pass the wrong entry that we have already entered into the books of account. Then we pass the correct entry that should have been posted into the account, and then we try to rectify the transaction after considering the wrong and the correct entry. Okay. So in today's session, we will start our discussion with this question, Alexander. So this is one of the basic question of this chapter. And okay, so let's start with this. In this question, we have certain information and we need to rectify transaction by passing the journal entries. So pass journal entries to rectify the following errors. So there are 11 transactions in fact, and we have committed some mistake. We have committed some errors while recording this transaction. We need to just correct those errors. We need to rectify these errors. So starting with the first transaction, a credit sale of rupees 1700 to Krishan was posted to Kishan's account. Okay, so let's start with this. Question is clear to you? Is it visible? Because too many transactions are recorded on a single page, so I'm not sure whether It is clearly visible to you or not?
It's visible, sir.
Visible. Okay. All right. So just a minute. Okay. So solution to question number 1, and right now we are talking about the first transaction only. So just a minute. Let me make a proper column. We will be passing the rectifying journal entry in this table. Okay. So first transaction was that a credit sale of rupees 1700 to Krishan was posted to Kishan's account. All right. So instead of posting it into the Krishan's account, we have credited Kishan's account. So first of all, let's write down the wrong journal entry that we have passed while recording it into the books of account. So what will be the wrong journal entry? What will be the wrong journal entry? It will be Kishan's account debit to sales account. So let me write it here. The wrong journal entry will be written here. This is not the way you need to do in the examination. Just trying to explain here. You are it is your choice whether you want to show the wrong entry in the examination or not. I would recommend that you should only write the correct journal entry. This should be shown in the working note only. This basically this will be the rough working of yours.
Okay, sir.
Correct entry. Okay, so wrong entry must have been done Kishan account debit. Kishan account debit to sales account. And there was no mistake committed while writing the value of a transaction. So amount was recorded correctly at 1700 only. But the correct transaction should be Krishan account debit. Krishan account should be debited by 1700 to sales account. 1700. So as usual, we will first compare the debit aspect of the transaction. We will be comparing the debit aspect of the correct entry with the debit aspect of the wrong entry. So here you can see the correct entry should be Krishan, but by mistake we have written Kishan. So in order to rectify this, what we will be doing, we will be debiting the Krishan account. Since Krishan account should be debited, so we will be writing Krishan account. Krishan account should be debited, and because Kishan account should not be debited, but by mistake we have debited the Kishan's account. So in order to rectify the mistake, now what we will be doing, in order to rectify the mistake, we will be crediting Kishan's account now. So to Kishan's account 1700. And now we will compare the credit aspect of the transaction, credit aspect of the wrong entry with the credit aspect of the correct entry. So here you can see that in the credit aspect, in the credit part, sales should be credited, and we have correctly credited the sales account. So I don't think there is any mistake. So we are not required to rectify this. So the correct the rectification general entry will be Krishan account debit to Kishan account. That's it. And this is what you need to show in the final working of your question in the examination. Okay.
Okay.
Now moving on to the next transaction. Next transaction was a cash sales of rupees 1700 to Meena was posted to credit of Meena. Right? Cash sales 1700 to Meena was posted to credit of Meena. So how you are going to, how should it be recorded? How it should be recorded? Tell me, Alexander, any idea how it should have been recorded?
Sir, is it cash account debit to sale?
Cash account debit to sales. Okay. See, we cash account debit to sales. This should be this should be the correct entry. Correct, you are right. And but what mistake we have done? How actually we have recorded it?
Sir, Meena was credited.
Meena, correct. Meena have been credited. That means we have recorded it as cash account debit to Meena account, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Just a minute. Give me a moment. Let me. Okay. So the wrong journal entry that we have done is we have just a minute. Okay. So cash account debited to Meena. All right. But the correct entry should be, correct journal entry should be, tell me, cash to
Sale.
Cash to sales, right? So cash to cash account debit to sales. There is no mistake while writing the value, so we are not required to correct that. Okay, now we will compare the debit aspect of the wrong with the correct journal entry. So here you can see that cash account should be debited and cash account is debited actually. So there is no mistake. So we are going to write down cash account should be debited, and that is what we have actually done. But on the in the credit aspect, you can see it should be sales account that should be credited, but by mistake we have credited the Meena's account. So to nullify the effect, what are we going to do? Tell me, how are we going to nullify this? We are going to, instead of writing the Meena account, what we are going to write down? We will be writing to sales account. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So cash account debit to sales account. What I have done here. Okay. And Meena's account has been credited, but to nullify the effect of the wrong entry, we have to debit the Meena account. Meena account will be debited to sales account. This is it. And amount was, let me check, amount was 1700 this time as well. So 1700. Okay. Now moving on to the third transaction. Third transaction was a credit sale of old furniture to Prem for rupees 1700 was credited to sales account. So the journal entry that we have passed is Prem account debit to sales account. That is what the journal entry that we have passed. What should be the correct journal entry, Alexander? For the third transaction, what should be the correct journal entry?
Old furniture account debit to Prime.
Old furniture account will be debited. See, furniture is an asset, na? And whenever
Yes,
asset increases, you will debit the asset account. but this time we are selling the asset.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
prime account debit to old furniture.
correct, this should be the correct entry, but we have, instead of writing the old furniture account, we have credited the sales account. So in order to rectify this, what will be the correct journal entry?
Sales account.
Let me write it here for you. Wrong we have done is prime account debit to furniture account. Oh, sorry, the sales account. Correct should be prime to furniture account, old furnitures account. Okay, so there is no problem with the debit aspect of the transaction, right? Prime should be debited. Prime has been debited. There is no problem with the debit aspect. But since in the credit part of the transaction, we should debit the furniture account, which we should have credited the furniture account, but by mistake we have credited the sales account. So in order to rectify this, we will pass the reverse entry. That means furniture account, sales account will be debited.
Yes, to furniture.
To furniture, sales account to old furnitures account. And the value was 1700 again. Okay, so can you try the remaining transaction, Alexander? I'm giving you some time. Can you try all these transactions yourself, and then we can cross check your solution?
Okay, okay, sir.
So just give me a moment. I'm showing all the transaction on screen. Okay, I'm here only. If you have any problem, you can just ask me, but I'm waiting for you to finish. At least do till 7 transaction, then we will continue after that, once
Okay,
you
sir.
finish till 7.
Okay. Sir, check dishonored. Check dishonored. What do we have to do? What does that mean?
You're talking about which transaction?
Fifth.
Fifth one. A check of rupees 640 received from Guru was dishonored and was posted to the debit of the sales return account. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
A check of rupees 640 received from checks for rupees 640 received from Guru was dishonored and was posted to the debit of the. Okay, so what should be the correct journal entry for this? Do you have any idea about this?
Sir, I'm not
What
sure.
should be the correct journal entry? Okay, just tell me what is the wrong journal entry that we have done. We have debited the sales return account now.
Yes.
Okay, so let me tell you, the correct journal entry for this is this will be debited to the Guru account, right?
Yes.
So Guru account will be debited to bank account. This should be the correct entry. Guru account should be debited to bank account. Bank account should be credited and Guru account should be debited. But the wrong journal entry that we have done is we have by mistake, instead of debiting the Guru's account, we have debited the sales return account. Credit aspect of the transaction has been dealt correctly. Bank account has been credited, but the sales, but the debit aspect, instead of debiting the Guru account, we have debited the sales return account.
Okay.
So in order to nullify the effect, the rectification journal entry will be, what we will be doing, we will be, tell me any idea do you have?
Yes, sir. We will, because the sales return account was debited.
Correct.
We have
We are going to credit sales return
yeah,
account, right?
Yeah.
And because Guru account should have been debited, so what are we going to do now? We will be debiting Guru's account now. This is it.
Yes.
So the correct journal entry will be Guru to sales return account.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So have you done the previous transaction? Have you done the rectification for the previous transaction as well, for the fourth one?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So could you please tell me what will be the journal entry for that?
Rectification will be old furniture account debit 5400 to Rohan.
Correct. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Move on to the next.
Okay.
Done with the seventh transaction?
No, sir, I'm doing.
Okay, what will be the wrong journal entry, Alexander, in this case?
Sir, seventh transaction?
Sixth, now we are doing sixth one or the seventh one?
Sixth.
Yeah, so tell me the journal entry for the wrong journal entry for the seventh transaction that we most have done. An amount of 2860 due from Prasad, written off as bad debt in the previous year, was recovered and credited to his personal account. So that means the journal entry that we most have done is, since amount 2860 is receiving, we are receiving 2860, so we most have debited the bank account, right? So bank account must have been debited. And whenever you receive, whenever the bad debt is recovered, the correct journal entry for this is bank account debit to bad debt recovered account. Is it clear to you? Correct
Yes,
journal entry for this transaction will be bank account debit to bad debt recovered. But what we have done, we have, instead of crediting the bad debt recovered account, we have credited the personal account of the Prasad. That means we have credited Prasad account, bank account debit to Prasad account. So that this is the wrong journal entry, and correct journal entry should be bank account debit to bad debt recovered account, right?
oh, okay, sir. Yes.
So considering both the wrong and the correct entry, now you can rectify the journal entry and pass the rectification entry.
Okay.
Seventh transaction is clear to you. Discounted bill of exchange receivable for rupees 8,000 returned by firm's bank had been credited to bank account and debited to bills receivable account. Is this transaction clear to you? What does it
Yeah.
actually mean? Just tell me if it is not clear, I can explain.
Sir, 1 second, I have to read it.
Okay, all right.
Sir,
Mhm.
the wrong the wrong entry is um bills receivable account debit to bank,
Correct.
and the correct entry should be mm, bank bank account mm, payable.
No, correct. In the correct entry, bank account will not be debited. See, let me explain this. See, Alexander, this is a clear case of dishonor of bill of exchange, right? We have received a bill of exchange from one of our debtor. We have deposited with our bank, and bank on the due date, when it basically on the due date, bill is not you can say duly uh, paid by the debtor, and on account of that the bill is getting dishonored. So that is a clear case of dishonor of bill of exchange. So this is the wrong general entry that we have done. Bills receivable account debit to bank account. We did this transaction, but we did this general entry. But the correct general entry should be, whenever the bill of exchange get dishonored, the debtors account will be debited, right? Debtor, instead of bills receivable account, we should debit the debtors account. Debtors account will be debited to bank account. This should have been done, but what we have done, we have, instead of debiting the debtors account, we have debited the bills receivable account. Is this clear to you? See, we are not receiving a bill of exchange from some debtor, right? We are not receiving this transaction. This general entry basically means that we are receiving a bill of exchange from our bank. That is not the correct journal entry. Whenever bill get dishonored and you get your bill of exchange returned from the bank, that means your the bill is getting dishonored, and the journal entry for dishonored of bill is debtors account debit to bank account, right? So now we have the wrong entry, we have the right entry, and now we can pass the correct journal entry, wherein we will be writing debtors account debit, debtors account will be debited to tell me bills
Bills
receivable
received.
account. And I don't think that we have committed any mistake with the amount now. We haven't done any mistake with the amount. 2860, just a minute. Correct, the amount was 8,000, so we will write 8,000 here. Tell me, is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Try the remaining transaction.
Okay. Sir,
Yes, Alexander.
in the previous question, it said a discounted bill of exchange.
It says
Uh,
discounted bill of exchange, right?
yes, sir.
So you wanted to know what does it mean?
No, no, a dishonored and discounted is different, right?
Yeah, see, discounted bill of exchange basically means that, let's suppose you have given me a bill of exchange. You have given me a bill of exchange. The due date of this bill of exchange is after 3 months, but due to some reason, I require the fund immediately. I require 8,000 rupees immediately. So without waiting till the maturity date, I can get this bill of exchange discounted with my bank. So I have deposited, I have sent this bank, I have sent this bill of exchange to the bank. I have discounted this bill of exchange with the bank, and bank have given me, let's suppose 8,000, or let's suppose 7,500 rupees after discounting the bill of exchange. Now bank will be waiting till the date of maturity, and now bank will be sending this bill of exchange to you for making payment. But on the due date, now this bill is not honored by you on the due date. That means the bill of exchange that I discounted with the bank is not able to cash this bill of exchange from you. So this basically means that bill of exchange is getting dishonored, and that is why my bank is returning the bill of exchange to me now, saying that we are not able to encash this bill of exchange, so we are returning this bill of exchange to you. You're getting
Okay.
okay? Is this
Yes,
clear now?
yes, sir.
So if any discounted bill of exchange being returned by the bank, that means it is not encashed by the debtor on the due date. That means it is the case of dishonor, and we have to treat it as a dishonor, and we need to pass the general entry as if this bill of exchange has been dishonored. So in case of dishonored bill of exchange, the correct general entry is debtors account debit to bank account instead of bills receivable account debit to bank account. So that is what we have done.
Okay.
Okay. Now the eighth transaction. Eighth transaction done, Alexander.
No, sir.
Okay. So do you have any idea what is this transaction is all about?
Sir,
You understand
the
the basically you understand this transaction na? 10,000 is being paid for the electricity for the proprietor's residence, and
yes,
it has been debited to the electricity expense account of the business, right?
yes, yes, sir.
So the what should be the correct journal entry for this? Any expense incurred for proprietor's purpose is considered as a drawing, right?
Drawing, yes,
Drawing. So the correct journal entry should be drawings account debit to bank account or the cash account,
yes,
right? But instead of debiting the drawings account, we have debited electricity expenses account.
yes,
So electricity expenses account to bank account, that is what we have actually done. So now we need to rectify this. So what we will be doing this time, we will
sir.
be debiting the drawings account and crediting the electricity expense account. That's it. Got it?
Uh, oh,
Let me show you. We have done, we have passed this general entry. Sorry, electricity expense account have been debited, as the question says. Electricity expense account was debited to bank account or the cash account, and but actually it should be drawings account debit to bank account. So where is the mistake? Mistake is in the debit aspect of the transaction, debit aspect of the general entry. So the correct general entry will be, we will now credit the electricity expense account and debit the drawings account, right? So correct general entry for the A transaction will be drawings account will be debited, since it should have been debited earlier, to electricity expense account. That's it.
yes, sir.
Okay. Amount was 10,000. Next, try the next. An amount of rupees 7,500 withdrawn from bank by the proprietor for his personal use was debited to purchase account. This one is very simple, similar to the previous one.
Sir,
Yes,
the wrong entry is purchase account debit to bank,
yes, that is the wrong general entry.
and the correct will be drawings account debit to bank.
Yes, right.
So, uh, purchase account debit to drawings account will be the rectification.
No, 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 no. We have already debited purchase account. No?
Yes,
While committing this mistake, we have already debited purchase account. Now, in order to rectify the mistake, we need to
oh,
credit purchase account and debit
yes,
the drawings account.
yes,
Earlier, the drawings account should have been debited, but by mistake, we haven't debited drawings account. We have debited the purchase account. So now, in order to rectify this time we will be debiting the drawings account and crediting the purchase account.
yes, sir.
Do it. Done, Alexander? Ninth one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Tell me the general entry, the wrong one.
Drawing account debit to bank.
That was the wrong general entry. And the correct should be?
Office expense debit to
No,
bank.
no, no. Office expense account debit to bank.
Yes.
Okay. So see, we are not going to debit the office expense account, since it is written that an amount of rupees 7,500 has been withdrawn from the bank, right?
No, sir, we're doing the 10th one.
10th one, okay. So an amount of rupees 15,000 were drawn from bank by the proprietor for office use. It is not written here that we have actually made or paid for office expenses. We have withdrawn certain amount from bank for office use. So the general entry for withdrawing fund from the bank, what will be the general entry? Correct general entry: cash will be increased and bank account will be reduced, right?
Yes.
So keeping in mind that business is withdrawing fund from the bank, and right now we are not incurring any expenses on, we have withdrawn this fund for office use, but it is not written in the statement that we are incurring the office expenses. We have withdrawn this fund for office use. That is a different thing. Right now our concern is that we have withdrawn certain fund from the bank. So the correct general entry for this will be cash account debit to bank account. But instead of debiting the cash account, we have debited the drawing account, thinking that since proprietor is withdrawing fund from the bank, so it must have been a drawing. So that is incorrect. If proprietor is withdrawing fund from bank for office use, that will be considered as the official purpose withdrawal, and that should be debited into the cash account and bank account should be credited. But we have made the drawings account debit to cash account. So the correct rectifying journal entry will be, in this case, it will be cash account debit
Cash
to drawings account.
drawing.
Is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now try the 11th one. Tell me the correct journal entry for this. For the 11th one, 8,000 salary paid to Varun, an employee, debited to his personal account. What should be the correct journal entry?
So, cash account debit to salary.
No,
account.
why your cash account debited? Sir, Alexander, what is actually cash account debit means? Whenever you debit cash account, that means your cash is increasing. Your business cash in the business is increasing. So clearly, in this statement, it is saying that we are paying salary to Varun. That means cash cannot increase, na?
Yes, sir.
And cash account should not be debited.
Oh.
So whenever you make any whenever you make any expense, that expense account should be debited. Like you have seen in the just a minute. Okay, so for in the 7th transaction, 8th transaction as well, electricity expense account debited. So whenever you make any expense, you need to debit that kind of expense. So here we are making expense in the form of salary, right?
Yes.
So don't you think salary account should be debited?
Yes, sir.
And we are assuming that we must have been paying this salary from our bank account. You can also assume that we are paying it through cash, but generally salary is paid through bank. So in this case, bank account will reduce. So therefore, the correct general entry should have been salary account debit to bank account, right?
Yes, sir.
But what we have actually done, instead of debiting the salary account, we have debited Varun's account. So Varun account debit to cash account. That means what this general entry actually means. It means that we have lent Varun 8,000 rupee as a loan. This general entry actually means that we have lent Varun have borrowed certain fund from us, but actually we are paying salary, right? So he is not borrowing fund from the business. He is taking his salary. So the correct general entry will be salary to cash. By mistake, we have done Varun to cash. So now in order to rectify this, what we will be doing?
Sir, Varun account
No,
debit.
no, no, no. Salary to Varun, na?
Yeah,
Yeah. So salary account debit to Varun account. That should be the rectification entry.
yes,
What is this clear to you?
yes, sir.
Okay. So have you made all the rectification entries for all these 11 transactions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So shall we move to the next question?
Okay, sir.
All right. Just tell me if you have any problem with any of these transactions.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Moving on to the next question. Okay. So this is the next question. Illustration 5. Wages paid for the construction. And I want you to try these transactions first, and I'll be helping you through the transactions. The first transaction is wages paid for construction of office debited to wages account 20,000. So try to rectify this.
Okay, sir.
Hmm. Done, Alexander. The first one, wages paid for the construction of office debited to wages account 20,000.
Yes, sir. But expenses for the building will be debited to capital account.
No, no, no. So see, building construction have been construction is being carried out now, and we are paying for the construction. That means we will assume that we are constructing the building. So any expenses incurred for the construction of building is considered as a part of cost of building itself,
Yes, sir.
right? And building is what? Building is an asset. So whenever you make any expense for the construction of the building, that means your asset are increasing. So what should be the correct journal entry in this case? Let me show you. Correct journal entry okay. Correct journal entry should be building account debit. Building account debit to cash. This should be, or the bank. So I'm assuming that we have paid wages through cash. So I'm writing, I'm crediting cash account. So this should have been done. But what we have done, we have considered is it as an ordinary expense, and we have debited the wages account. We have debited the wages account to cash account. See, if this expense is not regarding the construction of building, then you could have treated it as a wages. You could have treated it as a revenue expenditure. But since this time wages is being paid for the construction of building, so it cannot be treated as a revenue expenditure, and wages account cannot be debited, because we are paying wages for the construction of building. So this time it will be considered as a capital expenditure, and whenever capital expenditures are incurred, it leads to the increase in the value of the asset. So which asset will increase? Building will increase. So building account will be debited to cash account. This should be the correct journal entry. This is the wrong journal entry that we have done. So in order to rectify the effect, what we will be doing now, we will be debiting the buildings account, building account to
Wages.
wages account. That's it. Got it? Is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Try the next one.
Yes, sir. Done. The second one, cartage Yes,
paid for newly purchased furniture.
yes.
Yeah, tell me. The
Uh,
wrong one.
Carted account debit to bank,
Mm-hmm.
the wrong. And correct is furniture account
Okay, got it.
debit to bank.
Then
And
the rectifying.
furniture account debit to carted.
Correct. Perfect. Move on to the third, please.
Okay.
Third one is very easy.
Yes, sir. Machinery account debit to wages.
Correct. Rectifying entry you're telling me, na?
Yes, sir.
Right. Done. The fourth one. Machinery purchase for rupees 50,000 was passed through purchase book. That means we have treated it as a credit purchase. Whenever it is written that we have passed a particular transaction through purchase book, that means we are treating that we are buying the machinery on credit basis. So what we actually have done, we must have recorded as purchase account debit to
Bank.
no, just a minute. The correct journal entry should be okay. So whenever it is written that we are passing it through the purchase book, that it actually means that we have bought the goods. Okay, so we have treated it as that we are buying goods, but actually we were buying the machinery. So the wrong journal entry that we must have done is purchase account debit to uh, the basically the cash account or the bank account, but it should be machinery to bank or the cash, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Yeah. So please rectify it.
Machinery account debit to purchase.
Correct. Fifth one is also done.
Sir, doing.
Okay. Old furniture sold for rupees 5,000 were passed through sales book. That means sale of furniture has been treated as a sale of goods. Whenever it is written that we have passed it through the sales book, that means we have considered it as a sale of goods, but actually we were selling the old furniture. So what we must have done is we must have debited the bank account to the sales account, right? So
Yes,
bank account to sales account, that is what we have done. But the correct journal entry should be bank account debit to old furniture account. Since we are selling old furniture, so furniture is reducing. So therefore, we should credit the furniture account and debit the bank account. So in order to rectify the journal entry, now this time we will be debiting the furniture account to sales account. Got it? Is this clear to you?
so the sales account has been wrongly credited, right?
See, yeah. See, what we have done is we have debited bank account to sales account. This is the wrong one. Correct journal entry, sorry, the correct journal entry should be it should be bank account debit to old furnitures account, right? They should be the correct entry. So in order to rectify these entries, what we need to do, we will now be, since bank account is correctly debited, there is no mistake in it. So we need to just correct the credit aspect of the transaction. So now we will be debiting the old furniture account. Sorry, not the old furniture. We will be debiting the sales account.
Yes, so that's what I was trying to say.
Okay. So did I set the wrong entry for the
Yes.
rectification? Okay. So sales to old furniture, they should be correct one.
Oh.
Okay. So all 5 transaction has been entered now.
Yes, sir.
You don't have any doubt now?
No, sir.
Okay. So now we will be moving to the next question, and yeah. So these are the few more. There are a few more transactions. Question third: pass necessary general entries to rectify the following errors. A credit sale of 5,000 to Ram omitted to be recorded in the books. Goods costing 2,000, sales price of which was 2,400 taken by the proprietor were not recorded anywhere. Goods sold for rupees 350 to Hari on credit were omitted from the accounts, although cash received subsequently from him stands posted to his credit. Okay. So all right, try to do all these transactions as well.
Okay, sir. So omitted means uh, not recorded.
Omitted means we haven't recorded it earlier. We completely forgot to record this transaction.
Yes, sir. So the first one we just have to record it.
We haven't recorded it earlier, so that means we haven't done any wrong entry at all. So only thing that we need to do in such kind of question is we need to pass the correct journal entry. That's it.
Okay.
This kind of question does not require any rectification, since we haven't done any mistake. The only mistake was that we haven't recorded it. So in order to rectify our mistake, we will be just recording it. Since there was no wrong entry, so we are not required to pass the wrong entry and then to correct it and then to rectify, to pass the rectifying entry again. You're understanding now what I'm trying to explain you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So credit sale of 5,000 to Ram omitted to be recorded. That, so now what we will be doing, we will record this transaction. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. So Ram account debit to sales account. This is it. Done, Alexander, the second one as well?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, please tell me the journal entry. Goods costing 2000, the sales price of which was 2400, taken by the proprietor, were not recorded. Okay. Yeah, tell me the journal entry.
Drawings account debit to goods or stock.
Goods or stock. Okay. So just keep this in mind. Whenever goods increases or decreases, instead of debiting the goods account or crediting the goods account, we use the purchase account. Is
Okay.
this clear to? Whenever goods is increasing in the business, the general entry for that will be purchase account will be debited. Whenever purchase account debited is there, it indicates that goods are increasing in the business. And whenever goods are reducing, so in order to indicate that, we credit the purchase account. So
Okay.
whenever purchase account is credited, that means there is a reduction in the goods in the business.
Yes.
So in this particular question as well, we will be crediting the purchase account and debiting the drawings account. Is that clear to you?
So we will be debiting the purchase account.
No. Why we will be
Uh,
doing? Why we will be doing that?
so you set it the other way. Then.
Okay, I'm saying that drawings account should be debited
Okay.
and purchase account should be credited, because goods are taken by the proprietor for his personal use. That means his personal account will be his drawings account will be debited, right? Is this clear to you?
Yes.
And because goods are reducing, so instead of crediting the goods account, we will be crediting the purchase account. Is this clear to you as well?
Yes.
Yeah, this is it.
Sir, what value will be taken? 2000
Yeah,
or
that is the question. That is what I wanted to ask you. What value we should take?
um, 2400 because he's costing the company as well.
Yeah, okay. See, whenever goods has been taken by the proprietor, it is always valued at the cost price, not at the sales price. Okay, whenever we
Okay.
sell goods in the market to the customer, it is recorded on the sales value. But whenever the owner of the business, the proprietor, is taking the goods from the business for his personal use, it will be recorded as a cost at the cost price.
Yes.
Okay. Have you done the third one? Goods sold for rupees 350 to Hari on credit were omitted from the accounts. Done it?
Yes, sir. So, but it's partially omitted, right?
It is not partially omitted. Goods sold for 350 to Hari on credit were completely omitted to be recorded.
But
And that is different now, Alexander. See, we have let's suppose I have sold goods to you for credit, and after this particular transaction should be recorded separately, yes or no?
yes,
Let's suppose I'm selling goods to you for rupees 5,000. So do you think this transaction need to be recorded separately, yes or no?
yes, sir.
So how it should have been recorded? From my side, it should be recorded as the Alexander account debit to sales account, right?
Yes, sir.
But okay, so I completely forgot to record this transaction. And what happens subsequently, you have paid the amount due on you. You have taken the goods on credit, and after, let's suppose, 2 3 4 weeks, you have actually made the payment, and your payment has been recorded correctly. I have recorded your payment, but till then also I haven't recorded the sales. So these two events are completely different. First, I am making the sales on credit. I forgot to record this transaction. You make the payment, you have made the payment, and I have correctly recorded this transaction. So there is no mistake in the second event, but we have committed the mistake while selling the goods to the customer on credit. So is it clear now that it is not partial mistake, it is complete mistake of a
Yes, sir.
particular event, right? So the general entry that we will be doing in this case will be hurry account debit to sales account, right?
Yes, sir.
That's it.
Sir, in the textbook, the example for partial omission is credit sales has been duly recorded in the sales book, but posting from sales book to Mohan account has not been made.
Yeah, that
So,
will be the, yeah, so that will be the partial omission.
mm,
Okay,
okay.
all right. Now moving on to the fourth one. Credit sale of old furniture to Mahesh for rupees 5,500 omitted to be posted. Tell me.
Sir, um,
Mhm.
we should record Mahesh account debit to old furniture account.
What is the mistake in it, Alexander?
It's not posted.
Not posted, na?
Yes,
So what is the meaning of the posting? Posting means that we forgot to record in the ledger, right?
yes,
And rectification is done by making a journal entry. In order to rectify a transaction, we need to pass the journal entry only.
yes,
So since there is a mistake regarding the posting, so that is a different thing. Now we will now post it into the relevant account of a particular transaction. But there will be no journal entry for the rectification. Since there is no mistake, it is correctly recorded, it is correctly journalized, but we forgot to post it into the relevant account. That's it. So there is no mistake while passing the journal entry. Neither we have passed the wrong journal entry, neither we forgot to pass the journal entry. The question says that we forgot to post it to the relevant ledger. Okay, so rectification is not done for the ledger. Rectification will be done in the journal book only. So in order to rectify the journal and rectify any transaction, we just pass the correct, wrong, or the rectifying journal entry. This is it. We are not going to post into the relevant account. That is not the rectification deals with. Is this clear to you?
yes, sir.
Okay, move on to the next one.
So what will be the answer then?
You can write that there will be no journal entry for this particular transaction, since it is a case of the uh, uh, you can say that uh, it has already been correctly passed in the journal, and merely posting in the accounts is required. So we won't be passing any rectification entry for that.
No.
Hmm. Next one.
Yes,
Hmm. Last transaction is clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So it is about the purchase return or the sales return?
Sales return.
Sales return. Okay. So we haven't recorded the sales return in the book, right?
Yes, sir.
So we just need to pass the correct general entry for this. So
Yes,
can you just tell me what is the general entry for the return of goods?
sir. Sales return account debit to Hari.
Yes, correct. Perfect. Sales return account debit to Hari. This is the correct entry. All right. So with this, all the transactions are done. Now we will be doing one more question, and just give me a moment. Let me add the question to the slide. Just a moment. So Alexander, do you have any doubts regarding the statistics as well?
No, sir.
Okay. We have done everything now in statistics.
Yes.
All right. So keep on revising all the topics in the stats. And if you feel any need that you have any doubts and queries in the stats or microeconomics, do tell me and we will arrange a session accordingly.
Okay.
Okay. So question number 4, illustration 7. Following errors were identified in the books of Prasad. Pass necessary entries to rectify them. So these are the entries. 5,000 paid for furniture purchase has been charged to the ordinary purchase account. So I'm giving you 10 minutes to solve all these transactions. I'm waiting for you to finish, then I'll take your solution one by one.
Okay.
All right. Done, Alexander?
Sir, I'm in the sixth one.
Sixth one. Okay, just tell me the rectifying entries for the above transactions. For the first one,
Yes, sir. Furniture account debit to purchase account.
correct, 5,000.
Yes.
Okay, then
Th- Then the second one I had a doubt because repairs
mhm,
are for the building,
mhm,
so there won't be any rectification.
there is no rectification required. Okay,
Yes, sir.
just a minute. What is the question? Okay, repair made were debited to the building account.
Yes.
Okay, see, it is not mentioned that repairs is being incurred for the building.
Okay.
So it is an ordinary revenue expenditure. So in this case, repairs account should have been debited.
Oh,
Got it? By
yes.
mistake, we have debited the building account, considering that repairs must have been is being done for the building. But
Okay.
since it is not written in the question, you cannot treat it as a repair for the building itself.
Okay.
Okay,
And the next one is drawing account debit to trade expense,
correct.
and then the fourth one is rent account debit to landlord.
Perfect. Very good. All
Okay.
right.
And
Then
then uh, this one didn't mention the name of the clerk, so I just wrote salary account debit to clerk.
the clerk is itself the name.
Oh,
It's like Clark Kent. So it is the clerk is the
no,
name.
clerk is a position, no, sir.
Okay, so it is not written in the capital C. Okay, all right. So salary of rupees 1250 paid to clerk. Okay, 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 okay. So here, yeah. So tell me what is the rectification entry that you have done?
Salary account debit to clerk account.
Clerk personal account. Okay, right.
Yes.
Clerk's account. Right. That is right.
Yeah.
Okay,
And then the next one I'm doing it.
okay. Do it.
Okay.
I think there is a mistake with the sixth statement. See, Alexander, it is written that 1,000 received from Shah and Company has been wrongly entered as from and company. So at one of this place, it should be two. Rupees 1,000 received from Shah Company has been entered as two Shah and Company. Got it? Is this clear to you?
Oh,
Okay, so in the later part of the statement, it should not be from, make it two, entered as two Shah and Company.
okay.
Hmm.
Sir,
Yes.
yes, sir.
Done.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
you said that it was to Shaw and Co. So, uh, will the rectification be bank account debit to Shaw and Co?
No, it will be showing company account debit to Shaw and company account. Let
Wait,
me show you.
oh,
Just a minute. So we have received certain amount from Shaw and company. So bank account debit to Shaw and company, right? And instead of this is this should be the correct journal entry. But what we have done it as the Shaw account debit to bank account, right? And amount was, tell me the, what was the
1,000,
sorry,
1,000.
1000 was the amount. Okay,
Yes,
so we should write down 1000 debit to Shaw and company, 1000 and 1000 here and 1000. Now we need to rectify this. So for rectification, we will compare the debit aspect of the wrong entry with the debit aspect of the correct entry. So here you can see in the debit aspect, there should be okay, bank account should be there, right? So we will debit the bank account debited. Okay, now we will compare the credit aspect of both the transaction. Just a minute, this one is wrong, this one is correct, and this one is wrong. Okay, now see, it should be bank account debit. So we need to debit the bank account, and Shaw account will be credited. Shaw account will be credited by 1000, right? Okay, now we will compare the credit aspect of the transaction. Alexander, is this clear to you now?
yes, sir.
Now we will compare the credit with the credit aspect. So here you can see in the credit part, there should be Shaw account, but by mistake we have credited the bank account. So in order to rectify this, now we will be debiting, we will be, we will be debiting the Shaw account by 1000, and bank account was credited na. So just a minute, Shaw will be, I think I'm doing some mistake. Just a minute, give me a moment. Correct amount was 1000. The Shaw account need to be credited. and bank account will now be debited. So bank account debit to show account. Is this the rectification entry that you have done? Bank
No,
account
sir.
debit to show account 2000?
No, sir.
This is not? Okay. What is the rectification entry that you have done?
Sir, I did it completely wrong. I only wrote bank account debit to the.
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay. So I think there seems to have some mistake here. Being the correction of the credit to show and company for the amount received for show and company. Yeah, I think this should be the correct journal entry, Alexander. See, let me explain this. Earlier, the journal entry that we have done is show account has been debited to bank account, right?
Yes.
That is what we have done. But
Yes.
instead of this, the correct journal entry should be bank account debit to show account, right? So now, in order to rectify this, we will be comparing the debit aspect of the wrong and the correct journal entry. So here you can see in the correct journal entry, bank account should be debited. So we need to debit the bank account, and since show account has been debited, so in order to rectify this error, we need to credit the show account, right? After that, we
Yes.
will compare the credit aspect of the transactions. Here you can see the bank account should have been credited, but we have credited the show account. So in order to rectify this, we will be crediting this and we will be debiting this. So therefore, the what we have done, debited, we have, okay, we need to debit this. Now bank account will be, it is so confusing here. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, so we need to credit bank account now. So we will be writing to bank account. Bank account will be credited by 1000, and since show account has been credited earlier, now in order to rectify this, we will be crediting show account, right? This is the rectification entry. Now since we have the bank account in the debit part as well as in the credit part, so we can cancel out this and we can finally write down the final rectification entry. This will be show account debit, right? Show account debit, sorry, show account debit to show account. Is this clear to you, Alexander? Do I need to explain this in detail?
Uh, no, sir.
Is it clear?
Not
I can
very
explain
clear.
it. Okay, not very clear. Okay, see, let me try it one more time. let's just look at the wrong and the correct entry. So we will first compare the debit aspect with the debit aspect. You can see correct, in the correct entry, show account need to be debited and bank account should be credited, right? And in the correct, sorry, in the wrong entry, we have debited the wrong entry. We have debited the show account, and actually bank account should be debited, right? So now in order to rectify this, what we will be doing, we will be writing show account debit. Show account will be debited, and what I'm doing here?
Sir, I think the confusion is because uh, the usually you write the wrong entry first.
Yeah, that is why
Yeah.
it is happening. Okay, no problem. So this is the wrong entry and this is the right entry. So in order to rectify this, we will first of all write down the correct correct item, bank account should be debited. So bank account will be debited. And because we have debited show and company account, so in order to nullify this effect, what we will be doing now, we will be crediting this account. So to show and company account, done. Tell me, is this aspect of the transaction is clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Now we will compare the credit aspect. So in the credit part, you can see there should be showing company that should have been credited, but we have credited bank account. So now in order to rectify this, what we will be doing, we will be writing bank account will be debited, right? And
Yes.
to show will be credited. Okay, so we are back to the earlier transaction that we have actually passed. Show in company account. Is this clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and values will be 1000, 1000, and we have 1000 again and 1000. So we can pass single journal entry for this, which will be bank account debit, bank account debit to show and company account. Instead of writing show and company twice and bank account twice, we can merge all the transaction, all the general entry, and write it as bank account debit 2000, show account debit 2000. Tell me, is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this should be the correct general entry.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So it took a lot of time.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Sorry
Never
for that.
mind. Never mind. Let's end today's session at this question only. We will be now. We have discussed all the basic question of the chapter. Now in the next session, we will just cover the question based on the suspense account, and then we will finish this chapter. Okay, so only 2 sessions will be required for this. We have done one class for this, and then we will be doing one tomorrow, and with that we will be able to finish this chapter. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right, Alexander, so this is it for now. And just one more thing, I would recommend that you just revise all the topics and accounts and economics as well. And if you find anything difficult, or if you have any doubts and queries, do let me, so that we can arrange a class for you to resolve all your problems.
Okay.
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 All right. So with this, thank you so much for attending the session. This is it. Thank you. Goodbye.